You find yourself completely consumed by someone who might not even share the same feelings. Deep down, you feel this person is your destiny, as if fate itself has written your connection. Yet the pain you feel doesn't make sense. When you can't sleep because their face keeps replaying in your mind. When every song suddenly feels like it's about them. When you're convinced that destiny intentionally brought you together, stop. Because what you're about to hear in the next 3 minutes might either shatter your idea of love or finally prove that your connection is truly real. Carl Jung, one of the most intriguing and controversial psychologists of all time, dedicated his entire life to decoding this mystery. And what he discovered is so unsettling that most therapists never dare to mention it. Jung doesn't offer you false comfort or sugar-coated words. He shows you the raw truth about love, the kind that breaks illusions but frees your soul. Before we go deeper, take one small but powerful action. It will multiply the energy of what's coming next. Subscribe to this channel right now, because here we talk about the truths others are too afraid to speak. Like this video so that more people can awaken to this hidden knowledge. And in the comments, write the name of the person who won't leave your thoughts. Or, if you prefer to stay private, just type the word destiny. Every small action you take right now sends out an energetic ripple. It amplifies what you're about to learn. Do it before we continue, because what follows is powerful enough to change the way you see love forever. Today, in just a few minutes, you'll discover whether this person who consumes your thoughts is truly your fate, or a reflection of your deepest wounds wearing the mask of love. And I warn you, what you're about to hear might completely destroy the story you've been telling yourself about this relationship. So ask yourself, are you ready to face the truth? Because here's what Jung found. In almost 90% of so-called fated loves, people aren't meeting their soulmate. They're reliving the emotional patterns of their past. They mistake emotional addiction for a spiritual bond. They call destiny what is, in reality, an unhealed wound asking for attention. But here's the secret almost no one talks about. The remaining 10% of these connections are real. They go beyond space, beyond time, and hold divine purpose in your life. And in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly how to tell the difference. If you're still listening, that's not a coincidence. Something deep within you knows this message is meant for you. You've been searching for answers, tired of feeling crazy for loving someone who may not even deserve the role you've given them. Now, pay close attention, because what's coming next may shake your ego, but liberate your soul. Jung didn't come to validate your fantasies. He came to awaken your awareness. And awakening, though beautiful, is rarely painless. Here's the truth the love industry never tells you. You don't actually fall in love with people. You fall in love with your projections. That person you see as perfect is often just mirroring parts of your own psyche. Fragments of yourself you haven't yet accepted or integrated. You see in them what you want to see, not what they really are. Disturbing, isn't it? Because that means all your love at first sight, the soulmate feeling, that we've known each other forever, energy, might just be your subconscious replaying its old wounds through someone new. But wait, don't lose hope yet. Jung also discovered something revolutionary. When two people have faced their shadows and healed their wounds, their meeting transcends projection. That's when true fateful love emerges. Not the romantic illusion movies sell us, but something deeper, purer, transforming both souls forever. Now, do you want to know the ultimate proof? The signs that reveal whether this person is truly meant for you or not? Jung gave clear indicators, and they're so brutal that most people avoid them. Listen carefully, because this is where illusion ends and truth begins. If this person makes you feel anxious, insecure, or constantly on edge, if you always feel the need to prove yourself, that is not destiny. That is your trauma disguised as attraction. If they awaken old feelings of abandonment, if you're stuck wondering, do they really love me? That's not fate. That's your wounded inner child crying for healing. If you spend nights awake replaying moments, waiting for signs, that isn't peace. That's your ego, terrified of losing the illusion. The saddest part? Most people are addicted to this kind of love. They confuse fear for passion, chaos for depth, and emotional intensity for truth. And as long as this confusion controls you, you'll remain caught in cycles that exhaust you instead of elevate you. Now comes the part that can truly shift your entire life. This is the revelation Jung reserved for those brave enough to face the truth head-on. Without denial, without illusion. He discovered that real, fated love is the complete opposite of what modern culture teaches us. Listen carefully, because what follows can determine the quality of every relationship you'll ever experience. True love doesn't make you restless. It gives you peace. It doesn't drain your energy. It makes you feel safe and whole. It doesn't keep you awake at night in anxiety. It lets you sleep soundly because your heart finally feels secure. It doesn't demand that you change to be worthy. It celebrates you exactly as you are. It doesn't make you chase approval. It welcomes your authenticity without judgment. If the person you're thinking of right now doesn't align with these truths, then, as painful as it is to admit, they are not your destiny. They are simply your unhealed dependency wearing the mask of cosmic love. I know this realization cuts deep. Your mind will instantly search for excuses, reasons, and rationalizations to avoid accepting it. But deep within, your soul already knows this is true. It's silently nodding right now, because it recognizes the wisdom you've been running from. Here's the next shocking insight. Jung revealed, those who are the most obsessed with finding their soulmate are often the least prepared to receive them. Why? Because they seek someone to complete what they haven't yet completed within themselves. And true, fated love can only exist between two souls who are already whole. If your peace depends on someone's presence or absence, if you believe you cannot exist without them, then this connection isn't divine. It's dependency. Real love doesn't arrive to save you. It arrives to expand you. It doesn't come to fill your emptiness. It appears when you've already discovered your fullness. It doesn't appear to complete your story. It joins you to create a new one together. Now, we reach the moment of brutal honesty. Can you let go of the person you keep labeling as your destiny, when in truth, they may simply be your unresolved karma? Can you face the possibility that what you feel isn't sacred love but trauma bonding? Because Jung would tell you without hesitation. As long as you cling to relationships that drain your energy, cloud your mind, and keep you trapped in emotional loops, you're blocking the arrival of your real love story. It's as if you're standing at your front door hugging a photograph, while the real person meant for you is knocking outside, unable to enter because you're still clutching an illusion. Let me ask you something honest. Something that could reveal your truth in seconds. Does this person you call your destiny actually help you evolve into your best self? Or do they keep you stuck in patterns you've already lived before? Do they inspire your growth? Or reinforce your pain? Because from Jung's perspective, true love isn't repetition, it's evolution. It doesn't come to confirm your wounds. It comes to transform them. It doesn't seek to keep you comfortable. It seeks to help you grow beyond your limits. Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." If the person you can't forget constantly stirs anxiety, insecurity, or self-doubt, don't ignore it. That discomfort isn't punishment, it's guidance. Your soul is signaling where healing must happen. Now, try this short but revealing exercise. Close your eyes and picture that person. Don't focus on what you feel for them. Focus on what you feel about yourself when you're with them. Do you feel more free or more trapped? More authentic or more fake? More peaceful or more tense? More connected to yourself or further away from who you are? These sensations are your inner compass. They reveal the truth that your rational mind tries so hard to deny. Jung taught that the path of individuation, of becoming your true self, is the most sacred task of your lifetime. Relationships, especially the intense ones, are mirrors for this process. They're not the goal. They're the catalyst. They show you what needs healing, not who you should depend on. Ask yourself, how many times have you mistaken familiarity for destiny? How often have you been magnetically drawn to someone only to realize they reminded you of an old, painful but familiar pattern? The mind craves what's familiar, even when it hurts. That's why we're often drawn to people who treat us as we were treated long ago. Not because it's fate, but because it's unfinished business. Real, destined love doesn't feel familiar in the sense of repetition. It feels familiar in the sense of truth. Like coming home after a long journey. Not because you've been there before, but because your soul finally recognizes where it truly belongs. Jung spoke of synchronicity, those mysterious coincidences that seem to whisper, "This must mean something." But he warned that not every synchronicity is a sign of destiny. Some are simply reflections of your inner state projected outward. When your heart is desperate for connection, you start assigning cosmic meaning to random moments. A text at the right time feels like fate. A dream about them feels like prophecy. A song that plays when you think of them feels like a message from the universe. But sometimes, these are not signs that the universe wants you to hold on. They're signs inviting you to wake up, to recognize that your subconscious is mirroring your obsession, that your unhealed longing is coloring the world around you. Because here's the truth: destiny doesn't chase, it aligns. When two souls are truly meant to meet, they will. Not because you force it, but because both have grown enough to recognize each other. Real love happens when you no longer need it to feel complete. That's why so many people finally meet the one only after they've learned to be happy on their own. You see, the universe isn't cruel. It's just honest. It won't bring your person to you until you've stopped confusing attachment with love, until you've learned to stand firmly in your worth, until you've become the very person you once hoped someone else would make you feel like. And when that happens, when you reach that inner peace, you'll start attracting from wholeness, not from emptiness. You won't be magnetized by chaos anymore. You'll crave calm. You won't fall for intensity. You'll seek stability. You won't chase the thrill of being chosen. You'll rest in the security of mutual love. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So maybe the one you can't forget isn't your destiny. Maybe they're your awakening. They appeared not to stay, but to show you the parts of yourself that still needed healing. They came to reflect your wounds, not to be your forever. And when you truly understand that, you'll stop waiting for closure from them, because you'll realize you can give it to yourself. You'll stop replaying the past, because you'll see it served its purpose. You'll stop hoping for signs, because you'll have already received the message. Your destiny isn't a person, it's a state of being. It's the peace you feel when you no longer chase what isn't meant for you. It's the strength that comes from knowing your worth doesn't depend on who stays or who leaves. It's the freedom of loving without losing yourself. And maybe, just maybe, when you finally reach that point, the universe will bring someone new into your life. Someone who doesn't trigger your wounds, but honors your healing. Someone who doesn't confuse you, but brings clarity. Someone who doesn't mirror your pain, but reflects your growth. That's when you'll understand what fated love truly feels like. It won't be fireworks or chaos. It will be calm, certain, and grounded. It will feel like coming home, not to them, but to yourself. Because that's the ultimate truth Jung discovered. When you meet someone who's truly meant for you, it's not your soul that finally finds peace. It's your shadow that finally finds light.